All right, moving on to Sleepaway Camp 3 Teenage Wasteland. I forgot the DVD to hold up, but whatever. Anytime anybody watches this movie, I immediately write milkshake in the comments below, and no one has ever acknowledged it. It is what the girl has tattooed over her, I guess you could call them breasts. I have bigger boobs than her. I'm not tit shaming. She just literally has like the flattest chest I think I've ever seen on screen. And she has milkshake above it, which I thought was pretty fucking funny because she has nothing to shake. And then, of course, that famous song from whenever the hell that song was from. Jesus, I can't even remember what time period that came out in. So Angela takes a Mack truck down the street, and this girl is running from her, and there's all these people watching. No one comes to help. No one goes to find out what happened there. No one does. This whole film is ridiculous. You know, I remember really like loving 1, 2, and 3. Upon rewatching this one, I have to say it did not hold up as well as I remembered, for sure. I still thought it was enjoyable, but this film is really just, it like got to that parody point where it was like, this is just a vessel for Angela to kill the next person. And honestly, like outside of a couple kills, the kills were fine. I just felt like that literally was the entire film, was just her being like, oh, you're bad, I gotta kill you, and then just killing them. And while that can normally be fine, coming off of Sleepaway Camp 2, I thought Sleepaway Camp 2 had such fun characters. I love the characters in Sleepaway Camp 1, and I really enjoy the characters in Sleepaway Camp 2. Sleepaway Camp 3, there's some that are good, fine, whatever, but there's a lot that I'm just like forgettable to me. And the tone was even more silly. So it just felt like a full-blown parody, like the whole time. And I don't know, I still enjoyed it. I still liked it. It's still something I would revisit eventually again. It's just, I don't know, I remember loving it. And I was just kind of like, that was good. I had a good time. So I don't know. Anybody else feel like that with this one? Angela is back. Just fucking spray painted up on the wall like that. So this time it is Camp New Horizons, and they're combining rich kids with the poor kids. And we find out that there was 19 murders committed in the last film. She gives that chick Ajax to snort, or some kind of cleaning product. I think there's an Ajax bottle, so I think that's what it is. But snorts it, and just immediately you can hear it like sizzling inside her head, which sounds like, oh my God. And she just falls and blood just pours out of her. I don't know what would happen if you snorted Ajax, but that seems legit. I don't know if you die that fast, but maybe. We got Herman from Scrooged in here. Herman, why didn't you stay with Claire where it was warm? I've mentioned this guy a few times on the channel. His name is Herman in this again, which I thought was kind of funny. He's a weird dude, man. He's a weird fucking dude. Like, I'm supposed to buy that this hot blonde chick with these amazing tits and this incredible body and this like she has interest in this guy, and like instantly, like he walks up and he shows her a Playboy belt buckle, and she's just like, oh, and he's like, oh, like he is a weird dude. Like that's not acting. I don't buy that. Like that's just that guy being that guy. The way he reacts, he's like, no, like the way, like his facial expressions, his mannerisms, his body, like all of that stuff is so weird. Like he's a guy, I don't know what he's like in real life. Maybe this is just a character that he plays on screen. But I don't know. I've seen him in a few things. He acts like this every single time. I would not let him babysit my children. Let's just say that. I don't know, he weirds me out. But I still like him in movies. I don't know, something about the guy. Tons of nudity in this one as well. So that's a good saving grace there. The cop in this, his son was murdered by Angela. I didn't put together who it was. She said she cut his head off, though, which would make it the main guy at the end, right? Because he says in the last one, his dad's. Does he say he's a cop? Is that what he says? I know he says. I can't remember now. That sucks. But I'm like 99% sure that's what it was. I can't. What was his name? Rick? No, I don't know. The guy who was like 30 years old. Sweet pea. Oh, come on out, sweet pea. Like, that guy's so fucking weird. Yeah, sorry. Anyway. They go fishing, and they find the mask that she used, that the dude used, his little Jason Voorhees mask. They find it out there fishing. I thought that was pretty damn cool. As I was trying to say, like, the chick and the dude, that just reminded me of Mel and Meg from part 1. The blonde and Herman. Ugh, so gross, dude. Like, ugh, he is such a gross man. We got the firecracker kid here, which reminds me of the little kid from Boogie Nights. And I like that she sticks the fucking thing up his nose and lights it and blows his face up. It's out of focus, but it looks like it like blew his whole face up. That was pretty cool. And Cindy the racist. Jesus Christ, you want Cindy to die so bad for so many reasons. She's a moron, and she's a bigot. And she, like, I like that Angela seems to have such a fucking problem with cheerleaders. She asks her first question, and then she asks her 2 more questions. And she's like, strike 3. And it's like, being a cheerleader is strike 1? Like, you're just a cheerleader? Like, there's good cheerleaders out there. There's nice people that are cheerleaders. Like, that's it. Like, you're a cheerleader. You're a piece of shit for sure. But I guess it's just kind of like the trifecta. Like, you're a cheerleader, you do drugs, and you have premarital sex. Like, you're a piece of shit, I guess. That's the way she sees it. This is not the way I see it, obviously. But, oh my God, like, some of the stuff she says in here. Like, I love movies with, like, really good acting, like Gone with the Wind or, like, The Care Bears. Oh, that was pretty funny. Like, they made her as dumb as fuck. And then when she's leading her blindfolded, she's like, hold on, I gotta do something with a cig, puff a cig or something like that. She goes back there, she lights it, one little like baby puff, which I think that's just her trying to be cool, but there's no one around to see. I guess Angela's gonna sit there and think like, oh my God, she's so cool, she's smoking in the woods. But I think people know, even people who don't understand cigarettes, that you don't smoke one in 4 seconds flat. But then she plays the trust game with Angela, and Angela puts on her flagpole. That's probably the gnarliest looking kill in this movie to me, is when she falls from the flagpole. The way the shot is from above, and the way her body's like crumpled, and she has like, it's such a terrible death, because like, there's nothing you can do. Your hands are behind your back, you just gotta take it, and your body's like falling, and you can't do anything, and it's just bam. Like, it's fucking nasty. And then she buries that chick up to her neck, and she just puts a fucking lawnmower on top of her head. That's gnarly. We don't really get to see it, but mentally, that's a gnarly one. They keep telling her that she looks so old for a 17-year-old. They're like, wow, you must have had like a really tough life, done all these drugs and this and that. And it's like, she's only 21, supposedly. That's what the cop says. So she'd be 21 years old. It's like 21 and 17 are not that far apart. You don't look that much different between 17 and 21, okay? I just thought that was funny that he says that age, and I'm like, so much different? Yeah, I don't think so. The fucking nerd, the like super geeky guy. I don't know if he's supposed to be geeky or what the hell he is. I can't fucking think of his name. The redhead who's hitting on Angela, and he's like, your types always want it. I thought that line was fucking like, oh my God. He's like, so you're underprivileged or something like that. Like, this guy is such a moron. He came there just to get laid and be dominated, I guess, because he's like got to find those slutty low income housing ladies who just give it up. Your type always want it. So she puts his arms behind his back. At first I thought she ripped his dick off, but then I realized she pulled his arms back, which would rip his arms out of his sockets. I'm not sure it would kill him. Not instantly anyways. Maybe bleed to death after his arms were ripped off, but whew, that shit would hurt like a motherfucker. And then she And then when she's in there, I don't know, there's some uneventful kills in here when she's talking to the cop when he realizes like who it is, you know, that it's her. He's like, how you gonna do it, Angela? You gonna cut my head off like my kid or whatever? She's like, no, a gun. And she just pulls a gun out and shoots him like a couple times and he falls down dead. And that's it. That's their confrontation. It's over. It's quick. It's done. I was like, there could have been more to that, but it was fine. Like, it was funny the way she said it, so I guess it made it okay. And probably my favorite part of this movie, it kind of reminds me of Wet Hot American Summer, is at the end, the Mexican gangster dude and the redhead who are like all about each other and they're like trying to get away from Angela and they end up, you know, stabbing her and getting away. Like he goes over and he's like, oh my God, like I'll go home with you. We can get married. We can this. And she's just like, I don't know how to tell you this, but I got a boyfriend back home and this was just a fucking fling for me. Like I'm a young kid. Like I don't like this. You're just that, you know, you're just fun for me. Like, I'm sorry you got so into it. I don't know. That was such a dose of reality. That is so real in that moment. Just, yeah, that Wet Hot American Summer. That's one of probably like my favorite ending of all time. Like, I just realized like I'm 17 and like I just want to fuck and like that was amazing. I haven't seen the movie in forever, so I can't remember exactly what the lines are, but I just remember laughing so hard at that because I was like, now that's real. The whole movie, this guy's trying to get the girl, he's trying to get the girl, he's trying to get the girl, finally gets her, and he's like, oh my God, and it's gonna go to happy ending. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to my piece of shit dick ex-boyfriend because all I give a shit about right now is getting fucking laid. Which is probably how you should be at that age. I mean, unless you're like crazy in love, then that's fine. But outside of that, then like just have fun. And I also love that the paramedics discuss just offing her. They're like, let's just put an end to this shit right here, right now. No one's around. She's stabbed. We can get away with it. Like, let's just fucking kill her. And then she jumps up and kills them and whatever. But I just thought that was great. I just thought that was great that they were just like, let's off this bitch right now. Getting tired. Okay. Yeah, so I've already watched 27 minutes. Every second of it is painful. That's why I remember of Return to Sleepaway Camp, guys. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Like, I'm going to have to force myself to go back in there and watch 5 more minutes. It is awful in every imaginable way. It is miserable to sit through. So, I'll finish it, though.